Welcome from France. Um, am I enjoying my new life? Yes, partly because I think I'm healthier. I'm walking more. I'm not drinking as much. I'm stretching more. Socially, it's pretty empty. I don't like that part, but c'est la vie. That's the way it is. And the other parts, are pretty important. I was drinking too much in America, like a lot of men, beer, beer, beer. And luckily here, I'll have at least the last couple of nights one glass of wine. And I'm a country boy with not a lot of money, so I'll buy a cheap bottle of wine for like $4, and what I consider a expensive bottle of wine for $8, and half. And I don't care what the people with money say. It's usually people with money. The people without money, they'll go, oh yeah, sure. So different ways how to cut corners. What I don't like hearing these people saying, "Oh, the poor they spend, they're going to save money and invest it. Quit having a coffee every morning." What? Quit having a coffee every morning? Why don't you just say, live without any joy? You don't deserve just basic, joyful existence, like a cup of coffee in the morning. No, no, no. Quit blaming the poor. The conservatives, who seem to believe in Jesus, who said, hey, man, we need to help the poor. A lot of the conservatives say it's the poor's fault. The poor need to work more. The poor's on welfare, taking advantage of the system. I'm like, that doesn't sound like Jesus. But you say that's your personal savior. And I like Jesus. Jesus has some great values, morals. I just don't see a lot of Americans with those. No matter what they call themselves. Just, what are you doing? You can say anything you want. What do your actions show? What do your actions show? When I was in jail, you came to visit me. Is that what you're doing? You're going to visit the people in jail? Or are you talking about alligator Alcatraz in Florida? We're going to, let the gators eat them if they try to escape. That's cruel. There's a lot of immigration detention centers where they're sleeping on the ground, sleeping on top of each other, sleeping next to the toilet, sleeping cruel. Don't talk about Jesus and then be cruel to people. That doesn't go together. I love Jesus. I'm not a Christian. I don't want to be. They've done a lot of damage. And every religion has done a lot of damage. But I think most of them, the moral center is good, of loving each other and not being arrogant and loving money. Don't love money. They almost all say that. We don't follow that, but we act like we do. We act like that's the center of life is. And then we get back to greed and acquiring things and wealth and property and talking about the poor being lazy. It's sad. We can do better. We should do better. We deserve better. When I walk the sidewalks, all these people, we should be, I'm not saying we should be embracing each other or even acknowledging each other because there's so many, but appreciating, some type of appreciation, and not just in your own little world. And a lot of times people are on the phone. You can walk by somebody, instead of looking at you or talking, saying anything to you, they're going to look at their phone. That's a safety valve. It's a pacifier. Technology is a pacifier. Get something, and I'm guilty too. I'm not just throwing stones. I'm guilty too. I'm doing this partly because I'm lazy about writing a book. I've written 2 books. I mean, it's basically journals. One was about teaching called Who's the Teacher Now? What was the rest of it? Reflections of a Frontline Warrior, something like that. Ruminating, thinking about being a teacher during a time of federal control and billionaires saying, let's do this, no child left behind. It's all about high stakes testing. And I'm like, no, man, it's about small classes and it's about no poverty. And so my kids don't have to go to work after school. They can't study because they're working. And a lot of other things. Smaller schools where people can participate more in athletics and band and other extracurricular activities, which mean a lot. That's better in smaller schools. We don't give a shit about that. We want football teams. If your school has 3,000 instead of 1,000, you're going to have a much better football team. But your school won't be as good. And you're going to lose a lot of kids, if that matters. I don't think it matters to a lot of people. And that's sad. We really need to slow down, try to understand why we're here, or understand that this is a grace, a period of grace, that we're alive on this garden in the middle of lifeless, cold space. It's amazing. We are amazing. This is amazing. Acknowledge that, appreciate that, care for that, care for the planet, care for each other. You can get caught up in this fever of greed. I know, I've been there. My dad was a stockbroker. I've had stocks before. You're looking at the stocks. Oh, it was up 2 points today. It's down 1 point. It's a fever. It's a sickness. Oh, now this isn't me, but I could see somebody saying, "Man, I have $2 million. If I do this and this, I'm going to have $5 million. That'll be even better." Might be better. I don't know if it'll be better for them. It's going to be worse for other people that lose that part of the pie. We only have so big of a pie for 330 million people in the United States. We can get rid of poverty if we want to. We don't care about that right now. I don't hear the conservatives, I don't hear the Republicans saying anything about the poor except pointing at them. They don't work hard enough. They take advantage of the system. This system has been corrupted, and more tax cuts for the rich. Trump and the Republicans have done that 2 times now. You poor Republicans that keep voting for tax breaks for the rich, can you figure this out? It's not for you. It's not helping you. Figure that out. Economics. We're not very good at, basic economics, including tax policy, monetary policy, fiscal policy, housing policy. Yes, we may have to accept the idea of having an apartment instead of a house, just like a lot of the world does. This apartment, I feel lucky. Now there's the kitchen. I'm telling you, it's like 4 feet by 4 feet. That needs to be twice as big, probably. I remember this lady back in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where I'm from. Country people aren't dumb. I think we are more wise than what you would call intelligent or well read, about the Greeks or the Romans or the Renaissance, anything like that. The Enlightenment. But when I was talking to her about things here, about about shopping at the market for fresh food, her point was, well, I've heard they have smaller refrigerators, so you can't store as much. Yes, she's right. The refrigerator in there is like 3 feet tall with a small freezer. It's true. Maybe it should be a little bigger. I don't know. This idea of simplicity, I like that. It's good for me to simplify my life. So it's hard to know where to draw the line. To me, that kitchen is too small. It's 4 feet by 4 feet. Should it be 8 feet by 8 feet? I don't know the right size. But I know a lot of Americans are spoiled on these gigantic houses that take up a lot of energy, heat, resources to build, but then also resources to heat and to cool. So I hope we can do better. I need to do better. And I hope we as a people can do better. So anyway, from France, I was going to say a few things. This idea that nobody's black or white, and people call me white. What's white? This is white. That's white. I'm not white. This is white, right? That's white. I'm not white. But it's easy to say. White and black. White and black. It's easy to say, but it doesn't make any sense. I'm not white. And I would kid with my students in high school. I would kid with them, many of them from Mexico, browner. And I would say, hey, in the summer when I get tan and brown, can I say brown power? Oh, no, you can't say that. I said, what do you mean I can't say that? I'll be brown. I can go brown power. So, no, that's not what it was funny. You got to have fun with skin color and this idea of race and all the bullshit that we've created. I was at the library the other day, and this guy was at the printer before me, and I asked him, are you done? And he spoke some English. Dark guy from the Congo. I could say black guy from the Congo. He wasn't black. He was very dark brown. It was brown. It's funny how, a lot of white people really want a tan. They want to look brown. They may be racist. They may be putting down people that are brown, but they want to look brown. That's crazy. But anyway, he had a nice jacket on. It was like green and, African kind of bold colors, and the patterns were cool. And I told him, I said, man, I like that jacket. It's nice. And he was friendly back, and we talked just a little bit. He's from the Congo. He told me there was 2 Congos, Republic of Congo and something else. I didn't know that. I need to look it up. He knew. I said, you speak. I'm older. I think it's good to brag on everybody, including the younger people. Let them know they're important, or that they impress you, which they do. Human beings are impressive. So I asked him, I said, man, you speak French and English and Congolese, or whatever the language is. And he said, I speak this and this, and Italian, Spanish. And he was like, I said, man, you are too smart. He spoke like 6 languages. Now some racists, not just in the South, but I'll say in the South, I'm from Arkansas. So some dumbass racist white guys say, look at that black guy, ignorant and stuff. And I'm like, hey man, he speaks 6 languages. You barely speak 1. Those stones at your own risk, baby. Throwing stones ain't the way to go. Helping each other, caring for each other. Don't talk about Jesus if you're throwing stones. He preached caring about each other. He was a good preacher. But we don't follow very well. We get caught up in the fever of me, 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 me. I need money. I want more money. We need to express ourselves more, be ourselves more. This is what I wore. I walked one way, and what did I wanted some containers. And what else did I get? Well, I got this. I'm a single guy. It's kind of funny. Single people go shopping. The guy laughed when I was checking out with these. Or you get one banana. But I'm single. I mean, I don't want more than that. It's going to go bad. But so much black. Everybody's wearing black clothes. Quite a few people in black clothes in Seattle. And I don't want to just wear this as to push back against that. You know, don't do things because do things because that's who you are. Do things because that's who you are. Don't do things, well, they did this, I'm going to, you're reacting to them. That's not you. You're just becoming a reaction to this. Don't do that. Be yourself. I do music videos, and I'm ignorant where I look at how many people watched. And if more people watched, I'm like happy. If less people, it's like, oh, maybe I should change this or change that. Like trying to become like a monkey, however they feed the monkey. I don't want to do that. I just want to be true to your heart. I want to be true to my heart. Our existence is not very long. And when we're really young, we know what to do naturally and spontaneously, intuitively. We can continue that. Sometimes we lose that. But that's, the heart of a child or whatever. That's what we need the innocence of our heart, I think, is innocent. I think your heart is innocent and wonderful and beautiful and grace and light and a gift and a journey and a lesson and a path that helps us. You follow your heart. Other people around you see that or experience that, or you inspire them by just being yourself, being kind, being affirmative, being helpful. Everybody's got all these qualities. I was in hospice, volunteer for hospice over 15 years. The angels that walk on the earth, hospice nurses, maybe nurses in general. And, the people that have to deal with the doctors, the nurses. I think a lot of the police and people in the fire departments are dealing with really rough, or EMS. I look to all those people like they're dealing with rough situations, with police, violent situations, deadly situations. And we need to respect everybody. People talk about the VA and the veterans. We need to respect the veterans. We need to respect the bus driver. They both need health care. They both need housing. We all need housing. We all need health care. We're all the same. Beautiful, beautiful, and the same. Original. We have this diversity, including the diversity of life on this planet that is divine. And just like our diversity, we need to protect that. And the climate change is, killing all these species. If you believe in God, then God made all these species, and we're killing them because we keep burning fossil fuels. We'll set a record again this year. And Trump and the Republicans are saying climate change doesn't even exist. This will go down in history as a crime against humanity and a crime against existence and a crime against life on earth. But that's not us. We can help lead and vote and run for office and help legislate policies that help people, that help the planet, that show that we are good citizens with good hearts and are honest and honorable and humble and caring and wise and want to do the right thing while we're here, want to protect life and help the future generations, but also help this generation. So that's my preaching for today. It's important to share and love and communicate. I've been looking at some of the corporate media that's now owned and controlled more by billionaires and really rich people, and they're not talking as straight as they used to. They're not telling the truth like they used to. They're not talking about inequality, concentrated wealth and power and property, a growing anger at an inability for regular people to have a decent standard of living, a decent quality of life, a decent income, the ability to buy a home. They're not talking about that. We need to talk about that because they're not. And we don't need to hate nobody, but we need to fight like hell for goodness, for equality, for America, for the earth,